That's right, we are back. Hey guys, it is LettucePlate. Welcome back to Teamfight Manager 2. We are going to continue on with the demo. We have a new champion added, Cavalry. He's pretty influential. He gets banned a lot. I mentioned it at the end of the last video if you did catch that one. So we will go ahead and proceed to the next match. We still are in 3v3s, so let's go ahead and get into it. We are on red side this time, so the AI banned Swordsman. I mentioned I want to let Cavalry go through in the first game, even though it means that the opponent will likely first pick him and will likely have an advantage because he is very, very strong, but he is going to be banned in 90% of the matches that I play, so we won't really ever get to see him unless I let him through when I am on red side. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I will also probably ban Executioner, and I think I want to ban... I think I'm going to leave Open Fighter. I'm probably going to ban... Maybe I banned Berserker. He kind of messed me up a little bit last time. Yeah, why not? So there they go. They picked Cavalry. I'm gonna go ahead and take Fighter, and do I just take Ninja? I want to try not to play him every single game, but if I do give them the strongest character in the game, or that's available so far in the game, I might as well take one that's very strong myself. They do have a archer, so a good target for my ninja to try and get on top of. Let's go ahead and go with another bruiser champion just so that we kind of fit that thematic. I said that kind of funny. So that we fit the thematic I was kind of telling you guys about. I'm gonna pick Lancer. You can see his abilities at the bottom. Push back enemies kind of close to him and deal damage. So it's kind of like a circle slash around him that deals damage, and then his level 3 is that he dashes behind an enemy. So he's very similar to Xin Zhao in League of Legends. Jumps in, does a little bit of AoE damage and like a kind of wind slash around him. Yeah, pretty good unit. His numbers are pretty good. This is Ninja's abilities, by the way, at the bottom of the screen. If you did want to read them, fires a shadow orb, dashes to an enemy that it hits and deals damage, and then dash to a target while untargetable and attack 3 times. So while he's doing his ult ability, he can't be, can't take damage or be stunned or anything. You can see his attack damage at the bottom left is 200, and it grows by 25 every single time. Just for reference, like this other bruiser character has 90, this ADC has 100, Cavalry is 100. Dual Blader, which is kind of like a Yasuo or Yone type of character, has 160. So he just spawns into the game with way more damage on his basic attacks than everyone else, and he has 2 abilities that dash him to target. So he has a ton of target access, and his attacks just do more damage than everyone. So pretty strong unit. Let's go ahead and lock Lancer in. We will put Ninja in the solo lane to match up with the Archer across from him. Also, he gets the most experience from being there. Let's do Lancer as the bot laner getting the gold. I think that's fine. They have their Cavalry on support. Alright, so this is fine. Early game tactics, let's see. I think I want my mid laner. Actually, I want him to try and kill this archer as much as he can. So let's set up a mid dive. I don't know if it'll work this time around. We're going to set everyone else in the bot lane to aggressive initiator. That way they just get up in people's face. They trade a lot. They are set to the initiator kind of team fight role, so they're, working as a melee champion or an engaged champion because they both engage quite well. Maybe for our support, let's set Barrel to other lanes. So let's have him go to mid lane quite a bit and see if that can we can find any success doing that. All right, guys, here we go. We're on red side this game, first game of the episode. Let's get it started. New character into the game, Cavalry. You can see how much faster he runs than the other characters around him. You can set the camera to focus on him. Ooh, okay, we're getting poked out of lane early. There's some trading in the bot lane. Not a lot of damage taken just yet. A stun onto Magic Knight. Will we be able to find the kill? Not quite. She will be able to get back and recall. All right, it looks like we survived in mid lane without dying. Got poked out kind of early there, level 1. There's that mid lane dive we're looking to set up on the Archer. She's respecting it. We're not showing in bot lane. We are getting a lot of damage on their tower. Their tower's over half health down. They catch us out in the river on our way back to bot lane. We were chunked a little bit. Ninja goes for the dive, and it looks like his ult reset the tower aggro. He had tower aggro when he jumped to the enemy, and then used his ult to hit her 3 times, and since he's untargetable, it dropped tower aggro. So we get the solo kill, and he lives. Mid tower is almost dead. Big stuff going on in the mid lane. It looks like our bot lane is struggling a little bit. Can we get this kill onto the cavalry? We can. He dashes back in to his demise. There goes the mid tower. 1,000 gold for our whole team. Another solo kill for Ninja. And he is running the game. There's no Nexus towers in 3 versus 3, so it is just an open Nexus already a minute and a half into the game, and they all had to recall to try and defend the base from Ninja. Hits another shuriken onto the Archer. She's only level 2. She's going to get one shot. Another kill possibly coming in. They trade kills on each other. Ninja, again, with an explosive early game. He had this before, and our bot lane let him down. But it looks like we're keeping up with levels at least a little bit better than the last time around when Ninja was kind of popping off like this. Hopefully we can convert it into a win this time around. We weren't able to in the last time. We threw an 8,000 gold lead in our last game. So I won't get too ahead of myself yet. We have lost from a better position than this. All right, here we go. Their Archer got up to level 5. They were only level 2 or 3, I think, when Ninja hit level 7. Some spells being thrown around in the bot lane. Magic Knight, the purple warrior unit on the enemy team, played by Khan. Her ultimate is sort of like a Rel ultimate in League of Legends, where it draws everyone into the center of the big AoE circle. We have some minions hitting the bot tower here. Barrel isn't autoing the turret. He could have taken it, maybe. He is going to run away from cavalry, but I think it's a futile attempt. That champion is so fast, and he lets him escape, lets him get away. Looks like a 7,000 gold lead for the red side for our team. Jackie Love is half HP. Pushed up really hard, far up mid lane, but it doesn't matter. He is too fed. One shots the cavalry, which is who I was worried was going to kill him, and once he was dead, the level up to level 8 was enough to take down the Magic Knight as well. We're pushing bot lane. It's 2v1. The Nexus is open. They're going for the fight instead of for the end. They kill the Archer. 5 seconds left on a respawn. It looks like we finally have a win, guys. We managed to close out a game in which we had a gold lead in. Ninja, again, with a huge performance. This unit is crazy in a solo lane when he gets, levels to increase that attack damage with that crazy base AD and attack damage scaling that he has. 2 more bruisers to go with it. Some CC from Fighter as well to hold them in place while we jump on them with all of our assassins and engaged champions. A good game for us. Finally got a dub. Got to see Cavalry as well. He didn't show up quite as big as I thought he was going to. He was in the support role that game, so he didn't have a lot of gold. I usually like playing him either mid or jungle if he's ever on my team. Let's see. Now that you're quite familiar with 3v3, let's add top lane and proceed with a 4v4 match. Along with this rule change, we'll explain one of the important game rules, Morguard. Starting from 4v4 matches, a powerful monster named Morguard spawns when the game time reaches 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's take a look. All right, there he is. This monster is not easy to defeat, but successfully defeating it grants a powerful boost to the team that kills it. All champions of the team will receive a permanent stat bonus, and their minions becomes significantly stronger for a certain duration. All right, guys, so this is the equivalent of Baron Nashor or Roshan in Dota. This is the big baddie objective of the game. Very similar to League of Legends when you kill Baron Nashor. It buffs all of your minions, but unlike in League of Legends, you don't need champions to be near the minions for them to receive the buff. So even if you, let's say you kill this objective, your team gets it, and then the enemy team kills your entire team, they ace you, all of your people die, your minions will still have the buff from this monster for the full duration. They'll be super buffed up, push in really far, and we've seen it already in the tutorial, or in the demo. I keep calling it a tutorial, but in the demo, we keep seeing where towers are giving ludicrous amounts of gold, like 3 kills plus worth of gold to every single player on your team. What ends up happening is a lot of the time, the team that takes this thing, you get 1,500 gold as a team for taking it, which is funnily enough the same amount as in League of Legends. Each player on your team gets 300 gold. But more important than that, the minions pushing as fast as they do basically guarantees that if you have any outer towers left on the map, when you get this buff, they're all going to die within the duration that the minions are kind of, are pushing with this buff. So if you take this buff and there's outer turrets left, the swing in power that you get from the amount of gold that from taking the buff and the tower is just ridiculous. Like it's really, really strong to the team that gets this buff, as it should be, as an end game buff, but it is very noticeable. All right, defeating Morgard is a crucial factor to winning the game, so it's something to consider during a pick ban. Let's learn more by playing in a 4v4 match. Sick. Alrighty. And they added Gunner to the roster. This unit's pretty good. I don't think it's like super strong or anything. I really liked it in the first game. We get to add our top laner. Noxious here is his name. So we can go ahead and add him to our starting lineup. And what Gunner can do is it's an ADC that is able to auto attack without stopping. So he can move around, and it's like a moving turret. Like his character can move around and kite, and if things get within range of him, he'll target them and auto attack them. Very useful in the old game where it was nothing but team fighting and 5v5, but in this game where there's like ganking and tower dives and stuff, he doesn't really have any wave clear. He's fine. He's not the worst character, but he is. I feel like he is kind of mediocre. I guess I never really talked about Ogre very much when Ogre was introduced. This unit's kind of like Trundle, I suppose, but like more of a designated tank than like a bruiser character. Every time he takes a damage, or is it deal damage? Each damage to an enemy champion. Okay, whenever he deals damage to an enemy champion, he gets 4 max health, which if you notice, you start the game with 800, and he gets 200 whenever he levels up, so it's not that great of an ability, if I say so myself. His ult is actually quite good. Club a single target, stun them for 1 second, and deal damage. And it scales with his max health, I think. Or let's see, if attack damage plus 10% of max health. Maybe it's the enemy's max health. So it's a really low cooldown. So it's a 3-second cooldown, 1 second stun. So it's very, very good. I like having him as my sole utility character a lot of the time. Him or Monk. Monk has like a ranged stun that actually can hit AoE. That's his ultimate spell down here. Deal ability power is magic damage and stun for 1 second, but it's AoE, so it can hit multiple champions. Very, very strong ability. Only a 4-second cooldown. These are 2 of my favorite utility characters in the game. I think Executioner is also very good, but I ban him most of the time. But yeah. All right, so we are on blue side for this game. I think I'll go ahead and ban Ninja. I've played him every game. We know he's OP, really strong. I want to try and mix it up at least a little bit, and I don't want the enemy team to get him either. So they go ahead and ban Cavalry. Get used to seeing this, guys. They ban Cavalry every single game. And we will go ahead. Maybe we try to first pick Executioner so we can check him out a little bit. So what would be good against Executioner? So we want to be facing ranged champions. The AI likes to pick fighters, so let's go ahead and ban Fighter. Okay, they ban Soldier. Let's go ahead and first pick Executioner. All right, they pick Ogre and Swordsman, so some melee characters. I think we should match and get ourselves the same thing. I think we're going to go with Berserker, and Lancer. They picked Archer. And now we get last pick. So this is likely our support. He isn't bad solo lane. Depending on where this Archer goes, I'm gonna put Executioner in the same lane as this Archer, I think. But let's just round it out with something kind of neutral. Maybe we try out Gunner. It's a new character. I think it's decent. I don't think it's a bad character to have, especially into Ogre. I think it's quite good because he can basically kite him, and Ogre stacks whenever he deals damage. So maybe we aim to match lanes with Ogre. So let's go ahead and send our Gunner up to match Ogre and our Executioner to match with the Archer. We'll put our Lancer and Berserker in the bot lane, and with our Berserker as supports, I don't think it makes too big of a difference. This unit is pretty trash until like later in the game, like levels 6, 7, and 8, which maybe means I should put him in. Yeah, let's go ahead and put him in the like bot role where he'll get farm and levels more so than the support. Okay. I like what I got. Let's go ahead and give it a try. They have Ogre, Archer, Swordsman, and Magic Knight. Lots of wave clear in this bot lane. So maybe we set an instruction to gank bot. So maybe we can set that up in our instructions over here. Okay. It looks like now that we have 4v4, we have been introduced to this new section of the tactics, late game management. So we can set split push to be anyone on our team, so we can assign any player on our team to split push either top lane or bottom lane. This instruction, guys, is very hard-coded to kick in at 3 minutes. So if you remember from the description earlier, the objective that I jokingly with my friends call Mort Dog, who's the main developer of Teamfight Tactics, TFT, for the mini game in League of Legends, when that objective in this game spawns at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, these split push rolls hard kick in at 3 minutes. So you can be laning top lane, but if I tell my top laner Noxious to split push bottom, he'll push a wave, and then as soon as 3 minutes hits, he'll either recall or run all the way from top lane to bottom lane to go push into the new lane. So it's something that you have a lot of control over. Just be aware that there'll be a time in the game where, like, maybe instead of farming, this guy just like stops fighting and stops farming and just runs straight to the bot lane when there's something better that he can be doing. It's just a tendency that I noticed while I was playing a lot, and just something for you guys to keep in mind. Usually it's better for your top laner, if you are going to split push, to keep your top laner in the top lane and send your mid laner to the bot lane, just because it's less distance they have to run. Yeah, but that's all I really had to input on that. Pretty interesting thing to play around with. You can also set it to none so that nobody does that. I'll set this up later in a second. I like doing the lane assignments first. So for our top laner, we want him to be aggressive, and we want him to serve as the back line or mid line. We have a bunch of melees, so maybe we do mid line. He does kite very well, so we'll set him up to do to position in the mid line. Lane pressure, set to pressure. We want him to just harass this Ogre as much as possible, push down the tower. It's like playing an ADC versus a melee champion in League of Legends. You want to just harass them as much as possible, take their tower, and just be obnoxious. Jackie Love in the mid lane on Executioner. Set him to the assassin teamfight role. Aggressive against the range champion. We can do other lane intervention. I think it's a good ganking champion in general with a hook and everything. For the bot lane, aggressive initiator, and we will set our support to intervene in other lanes like usual. Actually, since we have our mid laner doing that already, we'll set both of them to pressure. So I like this. This is a good setup. We have all 4 people on aggressive, which is kind of funny, but we don't really have, maybe with the exception of our gunner, we don't really have someone who would benefit from just kind of being passive and sitting back. I found that it's not a bad thing to go full out aggressive, but I think it is usually pretty bad to go full out on passive, because your team will avoid fighting even when it's good. which is you'd rather have them be set to aggressive and sometimes like overstep a tower dive, but be able to take advantage of when the enemies make mistakes. I just find it to be a better playstyle most of the time. Early game tactics, I think we'll set it to none. I don't necessarily want them diving, anywhere and kind of just wandering in the jungle. Top or bot split push? I kind of want to assign something just so we can see what it looks like in the game. I think I'll do top split push as my mid laner, so that if we do find a pick in a side lane, I'm trying to think. Executioner is probably the character that would benefit the most with being isolated, either him or Berserker, but he's an assassin, so it makes the most sense, and he'll have more levels in gold than a bot laner will. So we'll set him to split push in the top lane. Team fight tendencies in the late game. This is actually one of the few settings that I tend to lean on the more passive side. What this means is if you set this to passive, it will mean that your team, if they are outnumbered, like if there are 4 of the enemies standing in front of you on vision and only 3 of your people, they won't engage. If it's set to aggressive, they will literally, as soon as there's an enemy team, not literally, but most of the time, if there's an enemy person within vision and there's like 2 or more allies on the same screen, they'll just fight, which for some comps is actually a good thing. I would say this one probably benefits a little bit more so from being aggressive, so I'll leave it. But most of the time, I like leaving it on passive because in deathball comps where there's like 4 or 5 like melee bruiser guys, you just want all of them together at the same time in a big giant death ball running at the other team. So I usually leave this on passive, but for this game, I'll leave it on aggressive. All right, here we go. That was a lot of discussion in the pregame, but to be honest, that's where you have the most control in this game. That's where you make the most decisions, is in the champ select and in the pregame kind of strategy. So that's where I like spending most of my time. We hit a hook on mid lane. Half health from level 1. Very nice indeed. Okay, some good bullying in the bot lane. Okay. Oh my goodness. I think they... Barrel just ate both AoE spells. Oh my gosh, we're both 1 HP in the bot lane. Oh, and he catches us with the snipe on the AoE swordsman ability under our own tower. Rough start. I think Monk might be a good combination with either Lancer or Berserker. Specifically because if you get poked out, Monk can kind of heal you back up, but something to consider for future games. We have another skirmish here. We are losing out quite a bit bot lane again. Our bot lane, we have like good stats. Very good stats on the support. Oh my gosh, we're against a bunch of 20 and 30 rated players. Okay, even in my experience, the ratings on the players really kicks in during the team fights. Like, the enemy will kind of just run in and die sometimes once sort of the mid game and late game comes around. That's what I've tended to notice. My Berserker really needs to recall. He's only still level 2. A hook lands onto mid lane. No other follow-up. It seems like Executioner doesn't have a lot of base damage. He's probably best played as a support with another melee champion to kind of like follow up on the hooks that you put in. I have played him before in carry lanes in mid lane and in the bot lane, the AD carry role, and he does do a lot of damage when he gets items. But I think in the early game, I'm probably just used to expecting the damage that Ninja can output in the early game, and he's not quite up to that level. A good hook onto Magic Knight. He might chase her. All right, he ends up retreating. A hook onto Swordsman. All 3 of them are able to collapse this time, get a successful kill. Very nice. We are going to maybe lose this tower. 400 gold for that tower. So that granted a lot less gold than in 2v2 and 3v3. Between the episodes, guys, but between the last episode and this one, I actually went through and checked the gold amounts for the towers in 2v2 and 3v3. In 2v2, you get 4,000 gold for killing the tower. Each player gets 2,000, and in 3v3, it's 3,000 gold. So all 3 units get 1,000 per unit. It looked like in this one it was 600 if I remember correctly. So it's closer to a 1,600 gold cash in for getting a tower in 4v4. So it seems to be getting less and less important to get towers as we kind of move along into the modes that have more players in it. Okay, we are in a pretty bad position here with our gunner and our executioner. We do have some good focus onto Ogre. Our gunner can't get away. He gets sniped. Lancer runs in and dies as well. Lost the team fight there. Not looking good. The game isn't oh my gosh, they're charging down mid lane. We have no tower. There's no Nexus towers in 4v4. I definitely thought there was, but it turns out there's not. We are able to scare them off, it seems. Our Berserker doing a good job defending there. Some minions at our Nexus. Spooky stuff, guys. The objective has spawned. I always forget its name. It's like Morgoth or something. I know that's the antagonist in Lord of the Rings, or one of them. We do die contesting it. Their Magic Knight gets really low. Lots of low health bars. The mob does deal damage to the champion, guys. So by fighting around this, the mob is hitting champions of the game. That Ogre, super low HP. Oh, can't go down. A lot of kills, guys, where we're just leaving on the table, leaving the enemy champions at 1 HP. Gunner doing a lot of really good harass. This unit's been, he's farmed well. He only has an item component. We do get a kill onto the Magic Knight. Finally, we're able to convert a kill. They seem to have staggered recalls here, so we kind of have had 3 or 4 around the objective for quite a lot. Our Executioner is 1 HP. Lancer gets soloed out. We're all low. Oh, it looks like we're going to get ace. The Archer comes through. A triple kill, a devastation, a quadra kill for the Archer. That might just be game. They are running it down mid lane, guys. We got too low at the Baron, I'll call it, because I always forget the name of it. And it looks like the Archer just comes in with the movement speed and the dashes, cleans up the kills. We were all 1 HP. She just walked through and autoed all of us one time and killed all of us. The death timers were too long, and we do lose the game. Super unfortunate. That was a very, very close game. I think if we could have finished off some of those kills where people got away with 1 HP, it could have been a bit different, I think. But dang, that's a shame. We lost, and we lost to a team that had way worse stats than us. So I wonder how much the stats even kind of play into it, because you would think that the stats themselves of the players would help them dominate lane and win team fights and stuff, but it looked pretty close the whole game. All right, guys. We have a new champion, Pole Warrior. So I think I'm going to save this one for the next video. We've been recording for a good amount of time again, so it's about that time to transition. This unit, I think, is the strongest unit in the game. I can't wait to play him in the next episode, guys. The summary of him, or her, I think it's a female. I think the summary of Pole Warrior is, think about Wukong and Fizz combined in League of Legends. Her basic ability is a point... just the dash, like a Wukong E or a Xin Zhao. You know, E just dashes to an enemy. Nothing complicated. It's point and click damage. And the ult is the thing that's really crazy. The ult is basically a Fizz E, where he goes untargetable, and he lands and deals splash damage in a circle around him. The thing with Pole Warrior is he's very... She's very durable, and the damage from the ult is like very high, and if you pair it with other CC, this unit can just kill entire teams. Like with you can 2v5 with a CC character plus this character. It's just durable enough and has enough damage. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit overtuned. Untargetability is really strong on Ninja as well, because you can tower dive in the laning phase and drop aggro, and so you can really like snowball and set them to play as an aggressive assassin, and they thrive on that in laning phase. So very strong laner, very strong team fighter with AoE damage, gap closer, it's a really good unit, guys. I'll show it to you in the next game. For now, that is enough for now. We got into 4v4. We got the name of the we got the new objective, which I will learn the name of for the next episode, I promise. I even read it in the text at the bottom when they were introducing it, and I forgot it already. But I'll have it down for next time, guys. My apologies. But yeah, this has been LettucePlate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.